This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself. So this is the unboxing of my new 2x72 belt grinder, and you can get this from eBay. Cost for this, comes without a motor, is $379, but if you already have a motor, then you can actually save quite a bit. Here's the final cost when you consider the shipping and the tax. This is pretty fun. I'm unbelting my new belt grinder. Just got it in the mail, or I just got it delivered. Pretty heavy, and this is with tax about $500. This one does not come with a motor. This is the 2x72 belt. So just want to open it up and see what we got and show you guys what it's like. I'm going to be using either a treadmill motor, which you can get pretty cheap on eBay, probably about $75, and then the controller is probably about $45, or I might use, I have an old Maytag Neptune washing machine motor that I might use, but they will create enough speed to really do a good job. So I'll get it out of the package here. Comes with some pretty good packaging material to keep it from getting damaged. Pretty impressive. But here is the main part. Get that out. And some of the accoutrements that come with it. Alright, yeah, it's pretty heavy. So I had for a long time a one inch system, and it was doing okay, but motor was not very powerful, and it would just take a long time to really work on my knives. I'm transitioning now into swords, so I need something that's a little bit better. This is more of an entry level one, not super massive, but it'll do the trick. You can bolt this down. I'll take these off and show you guys a little bit more of the detail. So I got all the packaging material off. These are just some zip ties. Snap that. That allows that strut to move up. And tracking to get the belt to keep it from sliding from side to side is accomplished with this one. You can see that moving. I wonder though, this moves so readily, I wonder if it might be wise to put a little nut here too to give it more steady. Once you get it right, to get it more steady, because the vibration may make that move. And then you can move the plenum back and forth pretty easily by loosening that one, right? And it looks like there's another one you can put in here to really lock it in, because you don't want this thing to be vibrating or moving while you're working. That strut, let's see, that's pretty good. Offers a fair amount of upward pressure to keep your belt tight. I have seen people add even a spring over the strut if the strut starts to wear out. Here's an example of a 2x72 grinder with the motor and the motor controller. So it's going to be over $1,000. So this is a way you can save quite a bit. So the motor, when I install it, this will be installed on the workbench. Put some bolts in here to hold the frame down really tight. And the motor will hang out over here, and it'll have its wheel. The belt's going to go around. If you use a treadmill motor, they're not suited well for the motor being here and the wheel being here, because the way they spin, the front part, the flywheel, will come off unless you're able to secure it differently. So if you do want to use a treadmill motor, it's better if you have these wheels on this side and that the motor is over here and its wheel is over here on the left side. And some might be able to be modified where that would be true. I don't think this one can. I think this one's kind of dedicated for everything being on this side. But we'll work that out for sure.
Here's the motor I'll be using from a Neptune washing machine, and on eBay this is for 30 bucks. I already had one in my supply, but you can get them really cheap, and they're really powerful motors that work really well. You just need a motor controller.
So this also comes with the drive wheel that goes on your motor shaft. It's a 5/8 motor shaft. It has a key slot, and it also has a set screw that'll come down and lock that in. Access it from the top. I'll go right there, so that'll be cool. Actually, I think it goes this way. And let's see if there's any other parts that came with it.
This is the VFD motor controller for that motor that I just showed you for a 3-phase, and you can get this on eBay. A lot of different costs for these, but they work great. They can control the speed of the motor. And this again is for a 3-phase motor.
So it also comes with a little bit of instructions. This model is called the Mini Dictator. Grind knives of the boss. Comes with a little sticker. That's nice. It gives you some instructions and mainly just warnings. Tells you what type of bolts you can use to lock it in. Also comes with this part, which is used to mount your motor, and mounts to the plate, which is great. So you can either mount your motor on your workbench, but it's nice to have this mount also. And it's going to come with a nice workbench that will be hooked to underneath here, underneath the plenum support, and that's going to give you a nice table to work on, hold your material. So basic instructions are: bolt the grinder to a sturdy bench with the 4 3/8 inch bolts, washers, and lock nuts. Ensure that there's sufficient overhang so the plate extends over the end of the bench. This allows you to place a water-filled bucket on the floor under the plate to catch the dust and sparks. Very smart. Ensure that you don't have. These are just mainly safety ideas. Let's see. It is advisable to use clamps to clamp the motor in place as close to the chassis as possible. Run the grinder with a belt to ensure correct tracking. Once the correct placement of the motor is ascertained, bolt the motor to the bench with bolts. Good idea. So you're going to use clamps at first to make sure everything's working right with a belt on there. And if it is, then you can add the bolts. Drill the holes, add the bolts. To make minor alignment adjustments for optimum belt tracking, move the drive wheel tip. Use a long straight edge such as a yardstick or a length of extended aluminum. Place it over the flat side drive wheel and align it with the flat side of the bottom idler wheel. Once the belt tracks correctly, bolt the motor securely to the bench. Okay, blah blah blah. Safety. Okay. That's an interesting point. When using the belt without the backing plate free grinding, be aware that the belt does build up quite a bit of static electricity. I've experienced that. So, like I say, it's good to ground the piece that you're working with a crocodile clamp and a wire to a metal surface, and then you don't get zapped. Okay, so hope that helps you, and I'll set this up and show you guys what it looks like.
Thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe when you get a chance, and we can send you some videos of how the grinder looks when it's all set up on the workbench. Thanks again.